All right, James Blanchard is standing by. He served as the American ambassador to Canada from 1992 to 96 under then President Bill Clinton. He also served 2 terms as the governor of Michigan. Ambassador, thanks for your time today.
Thank you. Strange times here. I'll tell you what, we have bigger problems down here in the United States than you have with Donald Trump. I can assure you of that.
Yeah, what do you think Ambassador Hoekstra should do, and what do you make of that dust-up in Ottawa on Monday?
Well, I'm not going to give advice to our ambassador. If I do, it would be private advice, nor would I give it to Premier. You're very outstanding, talented, pro-American, pro-Ronald Reagan Premier Doug Ford. I'm not going to give advice to you. They'll have to figure that out. What everybody should do is watch the Dodgers-Toronto Blue Jays game. By the way, I'm rooting for the Blue Jays. They should watch that tonight, cool off. There's a lot behind this that we can talk about if you would like.
Yeah, absolutely. So what do you think is behind it?
Well, the reality is, and I'm quite confident of this, Prime Minister Carney and his team had very, very good meetings with President Bush and his team when they were here a couple of weeks ago. They went really, really well. And everyone is optimistic we would strike a deal. Mind you, I don't think all this was ever necessary to begin with, but nevertheless, they were really close. They were being close. And so here comes the ad, which, by the way, I enjoyed. It's a great ad. Hey, look, Ronald Reagan signed the Canada-U.S. free trade agreement. I mean, he was a free trader. Here comes that ad right in the middle of this situation where I think the 2 parties were close to a deal. And all this does is aggravate relations with Donald Trump. It probably had a predictable consequence and has put things off the rail. And I don't think anybody should be apologizing to anybody. They should cool off, resume negotiations when they're ready, and work for the future here. Look, this whole trade dust-up with Canada, from the U.S. point of view, in my opinion, is totally unnecessary. It's make-believe, it's made up, and of course, it's been coupled with insults directed toward Canada by Mr. Trump. So look, relations between our 2 countries are the worst in modern history, and I have to tell Americans that. And I'll tell my Canadian friends right now that the average American, probably 90%, view Canada as our best friend, ally, and partner. And none of this should be going on. It's a waste of time, and a waste of energy, and a waste of goodwill.
So you're saying the best strategy here for Canada anyway is just let things calm down a little bit and try to resume negotiations when possible?
Yeah, I think the Prime Minister is perfectly capable of managing this. No disrespect to Premier Ford. I think he's a fabulous guy. He's a great politician, and I happen to agree with him on most of these things. But it does have to be handled by Ottawa and by the President, by the Prime Minister's cabinet. And they seem to have had a good relationship with the people down here, which is not easy to do.
How close do you think we are to a deal?
I think they were close. Now it's all on hold. But, you got Mr. Trump over there in Korea. He's greeted at the airport by the loudspeakers blaring out YMCA. He's given a golden crown by the Korean president. He's being treated like royalty. He's trying to put an expansion on the White House. He's trying to build a Versailles Palace here. This is strange. These are strange times. This is not normal. When I have to tell people, because I've been involved in politics for 50 years, that it doesn't have to be this way. Even relations with Canada, there's no reason they shouldn't be good. I was Bill Clinton's ambassador. God, that was a pleasure. But we had tough things to deal with, like NAFTA, open skies, lumber. We had the Quebec referendum. I mean, it was a tough time. But when you got a guy like Clinton there, it's a pleasure. And I think most Canadians probably viewed it that way.
Ambassador Blanchard, great to have you with us here on CTV News. Good to see you again. Thanks for your time as always.
Thank you.